Sometimes when you place the inside hook, your partner's going to stand up. It's a little bit more of an advanced reaction, but it's usually because your partner can read and sense that they're going to go over. So they're looking to base and create a little bit more stability for themselves. In that situation, we want to go ahead and try and set up the real regular X guard because there's a nice opening for us between our partner's legs. It looks like this. From this position, I have the grip. I'm looking to place again my inside hook on the inside of Stephan's knee. Now, as I try to launch into this attack, he senses what I'm trying to do, and he's going to look to compensate by lifting the opposite leg. So now he's straddled above me, okay? If I can control his arm and prevent him from hooking behind my neck, great, because that could be really bad for me. So I'm keeping his arm away to a certain degree, and as I'm here, my outside leg, my outside hook that's not really on anything right now, is going to sneak inside and replace the hook that's already there. While I'm doing that, I'm looking to underhook his leg, and I'm going to trap his knee so that his knee doesn't fall down towards my chest. As I pull this back, I'm also looking to swing now my back leg out and bring my outside foot back in. Okay, so this leg that was originally on the inside of the knee has now swung out behind my partner and is now going to lift up and come on the inside of my partner's hip. From here, I want to make sure that my toes are active so that I'm locking into my partner's hip and I can sort of engage and start to sway their energy. I have a couple options here. Because I've directed my partner's weight away, I'm going to look to accordion my legs out. And if you will, I'm going to come here and do a technical stand-up. Again, always maintaining grips around my partner's legs so that Stephan can't sit back up again. If I were to just stand up in an X-guard sweep and let go, I give my partner a lot more room to begin to defend and move around. Let's do that one more time. I set the grip up, I go for my inside hook. When I sweep here, Stephan's going to compensate by standing up closer to my head. I want to maintain control away with his top arm, and I'm going to look to scoop underneath the arm and also at the same time insert my front leg and replace my back hook. Okay? So the hook that's on the inside of the knee is now going to be replaced with the opposite hook. The outside leg now is going to shift so I can bring my hips directly underneath my partner. This is really important because if I can get my hips underneath Stephan, I have better swaying control over his motion. My back foot now is going to come on top of his hip. And again, the toes, let's not have them relaxed. You want to try and pull them in, hook around your partner's pelvis. When they're in this position and you've blocked their motion from coming towards you, go ahead and extend away and do a technical stand-up, all the while keeping their feet off the ground. I just want to clarify a point. When Stephan stands up and compensates here for the sweep, some of you may be wondering, well, how am I going to have enough time to switch all these hooks around because it looks like it's really busy. I don't know if I can be able to, if I'm going to be able to do all of that. So what I want to be mindful is, yeah, you don't have a lot of lag time. You can't hook and go, what am I going to do next? That's why earlier on when I was talking about foot hooks, I always want to maintain a little bit of tension. If I keep a little bit of tension on this leg, Stephan's always going to be mindful that something's going to be happening. He's not just going to dance around and try and pass my guard. He knows that this hook is here for a reason. As soon as he stands up, I want to look for this control. If I can at least lock this knee and keep it from dropping down, I have a little bit of tension here. And Stephan, where do you feel like you should go right now?
Maybe turn this way a little bit into
Yeah, so he's already wondering, well, which way should I go? This is the time I need to keep that tension here, insert the other hook, and weave it through. If you're a little bit nervous about that, perhaps you can actually even drill this motion. So keep your inside hook, look to weave, and weave. Okay, so it's almost like you're trying to sew your partner's leg up, right? So I have one hook here, I'm looking to replace it and step it up on the inside. If you're able to engage your partner with a little bit of tension, believe it or not, that's enough to keep your partner at bay. Again, you don't have minutes here, you're talking a matter of seconds, but the more certain you are of your movements, the easier you can get the technique done.
When there's no tension on this leg, Emily, I feel like I can just step here, I can step into mount, I can do whatever. As soon as you add a little bit of tension, you're right. I don't feel safe taking the weight up to step because I feel like the leg's going to be kicked out. So that little bit of tension, it's hard for people to see, but it's real easy to feel. I don't feel at liberty to to step and
Exactly, and
pass.
for some of you guys that are new to this X-guard position or you haven't used it very much, it's really interesting when you're able to start just pushing on the inside of your partner's leg, and again, create that tension with the top of your toes and with your ankles. If you just play around with this a little bit, and if you're not familiar with X-guard, you can look at our first series, you can go on YouTube and look up X-guard, you can go on MG in Action, there's tons and tons of resources. But playing around with this position and understanding how to control your partner's hip, how to control their knee, just setting that intention is enough to make your partner think, oh, you know what, I'm not gonna just plow through anything, I gotta buy myself some time here. And that's the time you need to execute this sweep. Here's one last adjustment that you need to know that's actually really important. While I've been going over this with you, if you notice, I'm actually holding Stephan's ankle at my bicep. This is a common mistake that a lot of people make when they're playing the X-guard. So what I want to remember is that as I'm getting ready to sweep, I need to make sure that his ankle comes over my shoulder. This gives me a little bit more strength and a little bit more leverage. I can also use this to help shift my hips around, which I'm going to need if I want to get myself directly underneath my partner before I accordion fold out, technical lift, and come up.